Okay, so we have CorOS version 2.1. So I figured I'd take a little time today and we'll run through some of the new amps and some of the new features. We won't get super deep into, say, the new delays and things like that. I'll spend a little more time getting to know those first, but let's check out some of the new amps and see some first impressions. So I've set up a few presets here. One is with the new Matchless D30 amps. I've got channel 1 and channel 2, and then I've got the two cabs, A and B. And what I've done in stomp mode is I've set it up so this switches amps, this switches cabs. And on the back end, I've got a little bit of reverb. And on the front end, I added a boost, just again, to see how the amp models react to when you kick the front end a little more. One of the things I'll call out as a very positive upgrade is that now in stomp mode, when you have a block or a switch that controls multiple items, you can now name it. So you can see I've named this switch amp and switch cab. So before it would just say multiple devices or something like that. So that's a positive thing. I like that a lot. The other thing I'll call out that's a change that I'm very, very happy about is that every cab block has this EQ setting where you can do a low pass filter or a high cut. Anyone who's used my presets probably knows I'm a big fan of putting a high cut in to trim off some of the extraneous top end that you can get on modelers sometimes, just to make it sound more like, in my opinion, a real amp and cabinet. Now you can do this from a cab block. You don't need to add in a EQ block and take up that extra CPU. You can do it right here. You can use your finger, drag it like this, or you can obviously do the dial. So we'll leave it off for now, but I love that that's there. So let's check out channel 1. I'm using all the default settings from when you add it to the preset. All I've done is I've pumped up the output a little bit just to get a little more volume. So let's hear what this sounds like. So a nice Vox-ish kind of clean tone. Little confession, I'm not a huge user of Vox amps. So to me, I don't know that I'm hearing much of a difference between this and the other Vox models that are on the Quad Cortex. It sounds good, I like it, but it's not a clean tone that I would go back to and say, oh, I got to use that all the time. Let's check out channel 2. So again, these are all the default settings, except I've pushed the output. On this one, I might push the cut a little bit just to, again, smooth it out. So it's a nice kind of chunky rhythm tone. Let's try out the other cabs. So let's switch back to our first amp and we will remind ourselves what cab A sounds like. Try B. On channel 1, I don't hear much of a difference. There's a little bit of a different EQ, obviously, but it's not super in-your-face difference. Let's try channel 2. On channel 2, you can hear the difference more. It sounds like the B cab has less top end to it. It's a little more dark. That's A. I think with B, I would probably put the cut back to 5. I like that. It's nice. I think I like the clean with cab A, and I like these two. Wonder what it would sound like if we made a preset that was running these two in parallel. So let's try that. Let's do this. Let's go. And we'll add in a splitter. And we'll pan a little bit just to give a little bit of spread. And now let's go ahead and so now what we're doing is we're running channel 1 into cab A, and then channel 2 is in the cab B. See what it sounds like. I like that. That's nice. Maybe let's do a little bit of trimming here. Make sure the top end it sounds kind of more natural. I like that. That's a nice tone. It's got grit to it, but yet it's really clear. I like that. We'll come back to that. And I'll throw this up on the Cortex Cloud if you want to grab it and try it out. So let's check out the other Matchless amp that's on here. This is the Chieftain, and it has its own cab that comes with it. So again, I've got the default settings here. Just push the output a little bit. So that's nice. It's has less girth, so to speak, than the D30. It's not as full, but it's got some bite to it. It's got some clarity. I like it for a nice kind of bluesy tone. Let's try a little more volume. Nice. I wonder what would happen if we were to take that Let's go back to our dual. Let's switch out channel 2. For the Chieftain. Take the brilliance down a little bit. So let's try switching out on our dual preset. Let's put the Chieftain in instead. And let's use I like that. Let's save that. So let's check out the Kraken. So we've got 2 models. We got channel 1, we got channel 2. There's no cab that comes with these, so I'm just using my good old Mesa 4x12 that I'll usually use. Let's add in a little bit of high cut just to make sure nothing extraneous is going on up there. And let's hear what it sounds like. Here's channel 1. A little more volume. Not bad. Let's try the L34s. Focus. Yeah, with the 6L6s and the focus on, there's a lot more bottom end there. I think, I don't know, I like the L34s with the focus off. Obviously, I think that's pushing it more towards a martially kind of tone, which is probably why I like it, but I think it sounds good. Let's try channel 2. Interesting. I don't think that the focus has as much effect, at least that I'm hearing, on channel 2. Let's try the EL34s. Yeah, with the EL34s, you can hear a much more impact of that focus. The bottom end is just bigger, but it seems a little looser too. I think I like it off with the EL34. Yeah, I don't really like the 6L6s on this channel. I like the 34s much better. But again, probably because it sounds more like a Marshall, and that's what I like. So that's some of the new stuff on the 2.1 OS update. I'm going to keep playing around with it. If I find other stuff that I think is worthwhile talking about, I'll throw up a video. In the meantime, I haven't experienced any issues with the update. So if you're waiting to make sure there's nothing wrong with it, I think you can be pretty safe. I've seen a lot of people using it. I've not heard of any issues yet. So go ahead and install it and play around. Let me know what you think.